Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I am Van, and we are all the LFR family. And if you're not already with the family, I'm going to need for you to hit that subscribe button for me, all right? Make sure you hit the play button as well, and feel free to share this if you think this video might add some value to someone that you may know or may not know. Just add it to your social media platform. I mean, you'll be cool for a day. Trust me, this video right here will make you cool for a day. None of y'all care about that. All right, so shout out to my main man, King Blitz, over at Kingdom Reacts. He told me about the Social Justice Warriors channel. So I am over here trying to check out some of their good content that they may have, and I want to share it with you all. Okay, if you haven't seen it yet, then we're going to share it for the first time together, okay? So again, King Blitz, thank you so much, big dog. I appreciate you, man. Now let's see what they talking about over here. Am I going to like this or am I not?
So just in case you didn't read it, here's a part that you might agree with. I thought of you when I read this, actually. And here's what his first executive order on the refugees says. The United States should not admit those who engage in acts of bigotry or hatred, those who oppress Americans of any race, gender, or sexual orientation. Do you agree with that?
So I'm curious about how that relates to the 7 countries that was put on the travel, immigration, refugee ban that's currently in place.
What are the,
it just seems that if you're going to take, you're asking which of the 7 countries?
Yeah, what are the 7 countries?
Oh, you got like Iran, Iraq. I can't list off all of them, but it lists off 7 countries. Right. There's 5 others. I believe that Turkey's probably on it. Syria's on.
Man, you can't just ask that man. You can't just run him through a pop quiz like that. Yes, you can. If he's there for that, then absolutely. Get him, Tucker.
Okay, well, Syria's on it.
So what is your formal education background? So I guess a lot of people don't know what your undergraduate degree was in.
So I was at UCLA in political science and then Harvard Law School.
Okay, Shapiro.
So you don't have, you wouldn't consider yourself an expert in sociology?
I mean, I don't consider sociology a particularly expert field, but go ahead. I think I'm able to read a sociological study.
There you go, young man. You in daggone school for something that ain't even a daggone specialty. Ah, there you go. See, it took you to ask a question trying to be a smart ass and end up getting your tail handed to you, huh?
So you're not necessarily an expert.
Yes, there are lots of fields of study.
Right. Well, what I'm getting at is there's a lot of topics.
Let's put it this way, I know a lot less about welding than I do about sociology.
What I'm getting at is that you're not considered an expert in sociology, psychology, gender studies, lesbian dance theory, many of these things that you've brought up tonight.
I know a lot more about all those others than lesbian dance theory. As far as, if you want to take issue with the argument, I would urge you not to use the argument from authority, which is somebody has a PhD by their name, they know what they're talking about. That's a dumb argument.
What I'm trying to get at is that the fact that you have any other further education in any of these topics or any of these fields of study.
I don't need a 7-year degree in sociology, no bullshit when I hear it.
Hey, where the mic drop at? Where the mic drop?
And granted, that's your opinion.
Right, because I'm here, yeah, giving it.
You're also offering kind of an unqualified opinion on a lot of these topics.
See, again, you're just making the argument from authority. I don't think slapping a PhD from Ferris State next to your name makes you an expert in all things in the field in which you propose to speak. Okay, the fact is that either my argument's good or my argument's bad. Yes. Citing to my credentials is a really bad way of making an argument. It's like it's actually the equivalent of, it's so funny, when people do this, it's the equivalent of actually a religious person saying, citing to the Bible for an argument. I'm a very religious person, right? I mean, see this? It's the yarmulke, okay? I'm a religious person, okay? I never cite to the Bible. The reason I don't cite to the Bible is because that's an argument from authority. Okay, you may not believe the authority to which I'm citing. I don't believe the authority to which you're citing. So you're going to have to make me an argument as to what I'm saying that's wrong instead of just saying I don't have the properly enumerated degree from the institution of your choice.
And boom! Don't do that, man, because I, for one, won't be able to argue with anyone. Period. I won't be able to argue with anyone about anything because damn my learning by just living or my experiences or me being married for 24 years and having 4 children, raising them all to go to college and be able to get straight A's all throughout school. That ain't got nothing to do with it. As long as I ain't got no daggone degree in whatever you got a degree in, then I can't even speak on it. See, young man, you got something to learn. He just now schooled you. Hopefully you're taking notes on that. Hopefully you took some notes on that. I really want that young man to learn from that from what just now happened between him and the Dr. Ben Shapiro.
I am saying that Donald Trump is not only a monster, but he's a coward. We're talking about somebody who is so emasculated by Vladimir Putin that he has to.
All right, I'm going to have to stop you there because now we're getting off in a crazy world.
That he has to come back and pick on vulnerable kids.
Okay,
These kids are the most vulnerable children in the country.
Slow down a sec. Let's get to the core of the issue.
Absolutely.
Look, I get that I'm never going to get you to say that Obama should have done it. That's fine. Let's move from the politics to the science because this policy has implications that go far beyond bathrooms and locker rooms. The core question is what constitutes male and female. And the implication of these guidelines that Obama put in place is that a man is someone who says he's a man and a woman is someone who says she's a woman. You get to decide your gender. There's no biological anchor to sex anymore. It's all determined by the individual. So my obvious question for you is, how do I know if a person's male or female? Is there some other absolute standard that people have to meet to be male or female, other than what they say?
One's gender identity is enough to show what gender they are.
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. It's not. Who made these rules? Who made these rules? Huh? That's a real question, man. Who made these rules? One's gender identity is based off of what one has to say about one's self. And if one feel that one is this, then they are this. If they're that, then they're that. They get to say. BS, man. I call BS on that. You need to... I don't understand this argument right here. Like, you can understand that someone feels a certain type of way. You can understand, you can empathize with someone feeling a certain type of way. You can show them the same level of respect as anyone else that you show respect. You can listen to them with a caring ear and a loving heart, but you do not have to validate whatever they claim to be if they aren't born that. If you are a grown-ass man and you want to tell me that you are what a girl would be if she was your age, no, you're not. Now, if you feel that way, hey, that's subjective. That's subjective. Everything else is not. Everything else is not. I'm sorry, but it's not.
And so if you're confused about that, I mean, I leave that,
He said if you're confused about it. Ain't nobody confused but you.
in your level of enlightenment and
No, it's not about enlightenment. It's not about moral status.
Level of enlightenment.
This is a real question because there are all kinds of institutions in American life that function on a sex-segregated basis. Women's college, sports, both professional and amateur, prisons. And so you're telling me that I can play on a women's sports team when I say I'm a woman.
What we are saying is that in this guidance with public schools, which and the vulnerable kids that are there, that there are specific guidelines that these teachers and these supervisors and these principals asked for in how to create safe.
Okay, but now you're going back to the first question. You just said a second ago that
that is what we're talking about.
No, let me take you back 3 sentences. When you said gender identity is determined by the person who possesses it.
Go ahead,
That's exactly what you said.
Correct.
Go ahead.
And I'm saying there are massive implications of this that everyone is either too dumb or too embarrassed to explore, but let's do so now. If your sex is what you say it is, then what prevents me from playing on a women's field hockey team? What prevents me from getting convicted of a felony and demanding to go to a women's prison? And it's a real question.
It's not a real question.
Why is it not a real question?
It's not a real question because it is.
He can't answer. He can't answer it. You cannot answer that. If you can answer that, then hey, I am on. Listen, I'm on board to whatever you're saying. 1,000%. You can't answer that. That's why you're daggone looking down at your nose, and your nose is looking down at your lips, and your lips are looking down at your teeth, and your teeth are looking down at your chin, and you're trying to figure out the right thing to say that will not disappoint all of the people who are depending on you to win this back and forth between yourself and Tucker Carlson. And it's not going to happen. You just now said that what you identify as you are, and he just now gave you some great examples, and you are stuttering all over the daggone place. You're dancing, man. You're a dance machine. You look like Michael Jackson right now with all the dancing. You know, the dance machine, watch me get down, watch me get down, watch me get down, as I move, who didn't see?
It is pretty absurd, and there are no other examples.
Because why?
Because there are no examples of this. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but there are no examples. This is the same argument about saying that this will allow sexual predators to go into women.
I'm not making that argument.
He didn't say nothing about that.
But you are making.
He didn't say anything about no sexual predators. Nothing. You did. You brought that up. He didn't. He just gave you an example. So based off of what you said 3 sentences ago, you said exactly this. Now, based off of that, I'm going to use that and give you this. I'm presenting this to you. Now, is this that? So, no, see what you're trying to do. Nah, what he's trying to do is exactly what he said. He's not missing words. You are.
Okay, what I'm saying is, I just want to know what the standards are. I'm not actually making any claims. I'm merely asking a question that I want you to answer.
Yes, the standards are
Is there a scientific standard? Because when you deal with questions of biology, that is a species of science. So what's the scientific standard? I'm a scientist. I want to know if you're a man or a woman. How do I find out?
Look, these are discussions that I encourage you to have with someone who is transgender, and they can come and talk to you.
I don't need that to speak to a I can speak to you because you think about the stuff for a living. So it's a very simple question.
Yes.
I want to know if you're a man or a woman. I'm a scientist. How do I find out?
Your gender identity determines your gender, period.
Okay. So should someone who looks like me, I look like a man, you think I was a man, I say I'm a woman, and I demand to play in a women's sports team, I demand to go to women's college, I demand a small business administration loan for women-owned businesses. Ooh. That's a real thing. That's $1 billion question. For real. Can you turn me down if I say I'm a woman?
The question that is on the table right now is about Title IX.
Let's not
and about guidance. No, but you want to go off on
Title IX applies. It's not a tangent. Title IX applies and was created around the question of women's sports. So, as a apparent man, if I say I'm a woman, is that enough? Do I meet the standard as a woman to play in a women's sports team? That goes right to Title IX. Don't dodge the question.
I'm not dodging the question. This is something the Supreme Court is looking at next month. And yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Okay. Gender identity determines one's gender. Let
me ask you
period.
this.
And this is a matter of civil rights.
Is there science behind this? Because I know that
there's no science behind it.
Really, I want you to name a single scientist, just one, who says you can determine your own sex just by saying so. Can you name one scientist who says that?
I'd be happy to send you many after.
No, don't send it to him. Don't go and say, no, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave and go do my research. He didn't ask you to leave and go do your daggone research. He asked you to give him one right there. And you cannot do it at all, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to misgender you. What do you want to be called? Sir, ma'am, what do you want to be called? Just call me they, because they is, is mutual. It's not disrespectful to him or her. They. Call me both of them, because I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to tell you. Matter of fact, don't call me anything. How can I address you? Don't. Bro, you are losing. I've never seen luck. Tucker Carlson is whooping your tail, bro.
Sure.
A scientist who said you can determine your own sex. An actual scientist, like someone who went to college.
Listen,
are you serious?
You clearly have some issues around this.
It's not an issue at all. I have questions that you can't answer. And you're instead throwing things like you're not enlightened. I'm asking you a sincere question. What's the science behind this? And you're deflecting. Why?
I'm simply not deflecting.
I'm simply not deflecting. I'm simply, you sound like a DJ. You're a DJ. That's what you are. From here on out, that's your gender. A DJ, huh? You are scratching records. You are spinning them. You are doing your thing. Yeah, spinning is what you're doing. You're trying to spin everything so you not have to stand on what you said. What you said. It didn't become argumentative. Just want to put this on record. It did not become argumentative until you made it that way. You made it that way. Tucker didn't say anything about any type of anybody being victimized or anything like that. He was just trying to get a clear understanding. And again, people, this is my thing. If you're ever in a position where you have to defend your stance on something this controversial, and you firmly believe in your stance, you have a great opportunity to school people in a manner that they will respect, that they will hear you, that they won't think that you're just like fearful or upset, that you're just knowledgeable and you want people to have this information. We would hear it a lot better if that were the case, if you did not jump and understand early on in this conversation that you were losing the conversation. And it didn't have to be a debate. It really didn't. But you realized how ridiculous your ideology was. So you started throwing daggers and darts at the person across from you, because that's the only way you can survive the rest of this conversation. And that's unfortunate. He didn't start throwing insults at you, but you started saying that he wasn't as enlightened. He wasn't on the level. He wasn't, he didn't have the understanding that he needed to have. Nah, of course he don't have the understanding that you have, because he missed those meetings. He didn't take the same notes you took at those meetings. This dude is asking you some point blank questions that you should have answers to. And if you really knew what you was talking about, and you really wanted people to have the information you want to put out there to potentially save people who are dealing with issues enough that you will take the stance you're taking, because you're not taking the stance just for fun. From what I'm hearing, you're taking a stance because people have been committing suicide or bullied, beat up, sometimes even murdered because they were misunderstood, because they identified as a different gender than what they were born. This was a great opportunity for you to really slow down the conversation and communicate that to Tucker Carlson and to the people who are all watching this video. But you failed, because you got extremely emotional when you found out that you did not have the answers.
This is a matter of settled science, and it is something.
What's the science exactly? That you are what you say you are? Can I change my race too? And don't dodge that question. That's a real question.
No, you cannot.
Why? Why can't I change my race, but I can change my sex? What's the difference?
It is not about changing. It is not about changing.
But why isn't
this is about inherently who people are.
Really? But if I say I'm inherently of another race, who are you to say I'm not?
I mean, again, you're getting into these silly hypotheticals.
It's not silly at all. 2 years ago, nobody thought you could choose your own sex. And you're saying it's settled science.
One that is simply not true. We have had transgender protections in this country for decades.
But you haven't explained what transgender is. You're just saying it's whatever we say it is.
Look, you want to go into this in this right-wing pseudoscience.
It's not right-wing at all. It is.
It absolutely
It's pseudoscience, right? You name. I will give you $1,000 if you can find any scientist, like an actual biologist at an accredited American college, wanted to come on this show and say, here's the science, here's the state of play of biology 2017, name your sex, and that's what it is?
I don't understand.
You can't.
I
There's
don't
no
understand
science.
why you won't answer the question
I'll answer
about why.
any question always.
Excellent. Why shouldn't schools who are asking for it get guidance on how to create safe environments for all their kids?
I would say
why is that
guidance exists. It floats on the internet, and if it's merely guidance, then the federal government needs no more to do with it. They can say, here's our guidance. You're undermining your own argument, which was weak to begin with.
If it is as simple as that, then why do you care so much?
Unfortunately, we're out of time. I'm actually enjoying this, but I want you to produce the scientist, just one. And let's make it Harvard, and I'll give you $1,000. And I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just asking the question.
Why do you care so much? That's always the cop out. Why do you care so much? If this has nothing to do with you, then why do you care so much? Listen, I commend you for coming on to the show. Listen to me. I'm sounding like Tucker Carlson. I commend you for young man, young woman, whatever you identify as. I commend you for coming on to the show and standing toe to toe with Tucker. All right. Win, lose, or draw, you fought a good fight. All right. You did not get your position across clearly. You didn't. I wish you had, though, because this is such a huge topic nowadays that I want somebody to like clearly, like just communicate what's going on over there. All right. Because just because someone asks for certain things does not mean that they should get it without question. That's the thing. You think without question, give it to me. It's clearly a concern. Give it to us without question. Unless you're just too concerned about it. Well, you're too concerned about something that you clearly don't understand. And since you don't understand it, I can challenge you on it. Yeah, and I can challenge you back, and this can go back and forth. But my challenges would demand actual facts. And then I'll wait. Everyone, thank you so much for clicking play on this video. I appreciate it. Please let me know whatever you want me to know in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. Love y'all. Let me click